Hi, my name is Stephanie and I'm a massive music and movie collector, and today from my collection I thought it would be fun to have a look at my Sofia Coppola movies. Here they are. Sofia Coppola's been one of my favourite directors of all time for the last nearly 10 years, probably since I started engaging in her work. I'm trying to remember which movie I saw first, and it may have been Lost in Translation. I feel like I saw that and then that's where my journey began. To keep this whole discussion a bit brief, she's always been someone I've looked up to and someone whose work I get excited about watching, and when there's a new movie coming out I'm very excited about it, and I love to listen to what she has to say about filmmaking and I guess life in general, and so far she's made some pretty good movies. I will also say I've seen all of these movies. I haven't seen On the Rocks yet. I wish I had a physical copy of it. I much prefer to watch things with a physical copy. I have seen A Very Murray Christmas and I very much enjoyed that Christmas special. I thought that was really cool. Now I'm not really sure what words are and aren't allowed on YouTube, so we'll just point at the title of this movie and we all know what it is. This is obviously this, and it was released in 1999, and I remember watching this whilst also wanting to read the book, and the book was so hard to find for no reason. This is like a common occurrence with a lot of the things that I either want to watch or buy, where it's like either really hard to find a physical copy or like it just kind of disappears. I don't know why that's the case, but with this one, a few years after I saw the movie and everything, the book was like in my face all the time. And I will say I don't own the book yet. I haven't read it yet. I might when the mood strikes, which is again another common occurrence with me. I need to be like 150% in to want to like read a book and anything like that. But what she does with this film is amazing. Like, it's so beautiful, it's so heartbreaking, it's so sad, the performances are so moving, and there's the visuals and the music and everything about it. It's like it's hard to watch this movie and not be affected in like any way at all. Also, her filmography starts off so strong. Like, this is her first film right out the gate. That's amazing. Like, so cool. Next we have Lost in Translation from 2003, and like I said, I believe this was the first one I watched. I believe when I first started getting into movies, which I've always been into movies, but when I was first like, oh, I need to like seek out certain movies, this ended up on my list, and because of that I bought it and I watched it and I was very moved by it, and every time I revisit it, I am even more so. Yeah, she won an Oscar for this and she deserves it, obviously. And this movie is very special. We have Marie Antoinette from 2006. This movie is, I'm going to say it so many times, this movie is so cool. Just again, it's so stunning. Performances, and seeing Kirsten Dunst always, like in anything, I'm gonna watch it. But what she does with this character and how she portrays her and makes you feel so empathetic and sympathetic for a figure of history that is often like, you know, looked down at. And now I'm not going to say I'm an expert by any means, but the way that she's like humanized and we realize how young she was and everything, I think that's really special. And also, like, as a girl, when you watch movies done by female filmmakers, there's like a real difference in that. And yeah, we have another special movie. Next we have Somewhere from 2010, which again was one of those movies that was like so hard to find for no reason, and so when I did see it out in the wild one day, I got it, but only watched it within like the last 2 months. This one is like a hidden gem in every sense of the word, because oftentimes when people talk about Sofia Coppola, it's very easy to talk about the first 3 movies I've mentioned, and I mean even the ones that I will mention after this one, but this is like extremely underrated. This movie has that special tinge to it that I was expecting because it is Sofia Coppola, but it's, you know, very character focused and very still and very present, and there's a lot happening, but it's really quiet and special. Next we have The Bling Ring from 2013, which when this movie came out, I remember the press tours, I remember the trailer and the promotion and everything for it, and then a few years later when I finally got my hands on this, I watched it. It is a very interesting movie. I very much enjoyed it, and it's, again, I believe it's based on a true story. I don't remember. I don't think it's I'm not sure if it's based on an article or if it's just based on what happened just generally, but it's a very interesting premise, even if it wasn't real. But also the fact that it is somewhat real is crazy. Next we have The Beguiled from 2017. This is a remake of a movie from the 1970s. This one is pretty dark, and again, like, it feels like more of like a horror type of vibe. It is not. It's very isolating and pretty dark, and this cast, like this ensemble, is so cool, and it's so cool to see different actors from previous Sofia Coppola projects like kind of all together in a room. It's heaps of fun. I very much enjoy this movie as well. My final Sofia Coppola movie is Priscilla, which came out in 2023. I love this movie. I saw it in a preview screening because I was like so desperate to watch it. I have read Elvis and Me, and so when I went in to see the movie, I was intrigued to see what bits were going to be in the film and how certain things were going to be shown. And between like reading the book and watching the movie, I loved it. And I love this movie. I think that the performances are fantastic. I think visually it's stunning. I love being able to sit with characters that are just being humans. That's like a beautiful thing, and it's really special, and I feel like there are a few moments at least in this movie. I think I'm gonna make a bold call and say this might be my favorite Sofia Coppola movie, just because it means a lot to me in a lot of ways, but also it's the first movie of hers that I actually saw in cinema when it was released, and when this came out I bought it straight away because I was like, I need to watch it again. So I have seen this multiple times at this point, and I plan to watch it a whole lot more. So those are my Sofia Coppola movies, and this was a lot of fun for me to just like talk a bit. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and if you love Sofia Coppola as well, I hope you get your hands on some Sofia Coppola movies. Yeah, so thank you for sticking around and listening if you did, and I'll see you next time.